Welcome to Chuck Builds. If you've been watching, I am in a new series in a new house. I've moved from Texas to Florida and I'm setting up a new smart home. In the last video, we got Zigbee to MQTT set up. We made sure that our Zigbee network was isolated from our Wi-Fi network, that there's no interference. And then we also set up groups as a best practice going forward to reference mini lights very easily with one or two references here or calls. So this will help when we make automations later. Speaking of automations, that's what this video is about. I have a set of lights here called porch lights, and these are my front porch lights. And I'm going to do a very simple automation. The first way we're going to do it is in Home Assistant, and then I'll show you the way that I prefer to do it, which is in Node-RED. The Home Assistant automations tool has really changed a lot in the last few years, and I haven't given it a fair shake. I do prefer Node-RED because of how visual it is, that I can see it moving through the flow to troubleshoot. But we're going to try and knock this out just because my front porch is dark right now, and it's, if I'm blocking the time, it's 10 o'clock at night and I haven't gotten my lights turned on yet. What we're going to do is we're going to go to settings and then automations, and we're going to create an automation. We're going to create a new automation, and our trigger is when the sun sets is a great one. So we'll do time and then sun. We'll do sunset. We have an offset here if we wish. I'm going to leave it just because I don't know how far off that offset needs to be. So when the sun sets, then we're going to turn on a light, turns on, and the device is going to be porch lights. We want full brightness, and then we'll leave the color and color temperature alone just for whatever default it was last in. We'll close this out. I want to hit save. I'm going to call this porch lights on sunset. And this is a very basic automation. We're going to create a new automation. We're going to do a very similar time, sun, and we're going to do sunrise. When the sun rises, I want to turn off my lights. Front porch lights off, sunrise, save. And just like that, we should have a repeatable automation here that when the sun changes its state from sunset or sunrise, it'll turn on or off those front porch lights. All right, we have two very simple automations to turn off the porch lights at sunrise and turn them on at sunset, so they are on all night long. I'm thinking hypothetically, let's combine this into one. Let's have one automation. Let's have it dim after 2 a.m. Let's make it a lot dimmer, not as bright. And then maybe in the future, we'll see if a person is detected to make them brighter. To do this, I'm going to try and do it in Node-RED. So that was Home Assistant. Let's go to add-ons and then add-on store. Let's add Node-RED. Then I'm going to choose Watchdog so it turns on if it crashes, and then show in sidebar. The Watchdog is important, especially for automations, that if Node-RED has an issue and it does crash, that it comes right back so the rest of your automations will work. I had run Node-RED for the last 4 years, I believe, and I did not have not once a crash. So it's just really good practice at that point. And then show in sidebar because I like quick access, because I will frequently create automations when the idea strikes me. We'll hit start, go to the logs, see what's going on. We have an SSL issue. Let's turn off SSL because I am not using it. I'm local up here. All right, so that fixed it and it launches right away. I'm going to skip the new features. So flows up here are kind of like your sheets. This is something I like to think of like a piece of paper, and we're writing down for a binder or a folder that we're going to keep our things organized. And so I previously, in my last Home Assistant setup, had flow 1 was something like lighting, and this is where I had all of my motion activated lighting. And then flow 2 was something like security, and this was all my security alarm and sensors and things like that. You can have as many as you want, but just trying to kind of organize here that you know where to find the things that you're looking for. I'm going to click deploy. That's kind of like your quick save. If you see that blue dot went away, that means we are now saved. Blue dot is a pending unsaved change. You can add lots of nodes here. There's a good bit to start you out, and we're going to start with a comment node, and we're going to say this node is for front porch light automation. What's going to trigger our event here? We're going to have an event state change. And so what state is changing? That's going to be the sun. Sun.sun. We'll just call it sun here. If state is, I don't know what it's going to output. So we're going to come over here and click output on connect so that it immediately when we deploy this flow, it's going to tell us what it's doing. And that's only if we have a debug node here. So that will catch whatever this is outputting. I'll hit deploy, come over to the debug tab right here, and we can see the sun is below horizon. That's not exactly what I was expecting to see there. I wonder if we can see it in our Home Assistant entities. If we come over here and search for sun, let's see. Oh, so this tells us the time of the next sunset, next dusk, next dawn. Sun is below horizon. Previously was above horizon. So maybe that's what I use to do this automation. If sun is below horizon, turn on the lights. Let's start with something simple, minimal viable product, MVP. We're looking for a switch. All right. So if sun comes here, if sun is above horizon, and then we'll add another using our below horizon, trying to copy the formatting exactly. It's not forgiving. Horizon logic. So we have two outputs here. The top one is above horizon. The bottom one is below horizon. And so let's say below horizon, we are going to call an action. We're going to do an action. We're going to turn on porch lights, turn on, and our entity is going to be porch. So if the sun is below the horizon, come through here, below horizon, turn on porch lights, and we can do a very similar one for turn off porch lights. Action is going to be a light, and then we will do turn off, add the same entity of porch, and see. So it's going to output on connect, so we should see it flow through here. Yep, and it turned on, light turn on, called at 10:15 right now. So that is just because we hit deploy and check the logic, and that is due to this setting output on connect. If we did not have that, it would wait until this state changed. So it'd be tomorrow as it goes above horizon, it would then process through this flow. But we can see this little green mark here that's where it was at, and it was successful in what we wanted it to do. I like these node red flows because of that visual passing through, but I also like that it's easy to just keep adding to it. It's very easy for me to understand what's going to happen next just by watching. So an example of something that we can say to make this more smart for your smart home or more functional, we're going to look for a delay. So if the front porch lights are turned on, and what did we see here? It got turned on around 7:43. So let's say 2 a.m. What is that? We'll do 7 hours later, 7-hour delay. So after 7 hours, let's say 2 a.m., I want to lower the brightness of this light. So I'm going to copy this node. I'm going to paste it right here. And we have our properties right down here, color, temperature, brightness, step percentage. So brightness percentage is like, I want it at 50%. Step percentage is I want to decrease it by 50%. We're going to just do an outright brightness percentage. And if you want a quick button to speed this up, where my head is, we have a load example data right here. Click that, and it's going to populate in our data tab some of these criteria here. But we're going to switch this to brightness percent, and let's just do it at 50. I don't know if it needs to be in a bracket, however. Click done, connect these two nodes. We'll come up here, let's change it to set porch lights to 50% brightness, and then click deploy. And so this is going to flow through our node once again, and we can see that it passed through, it turned on the lights, or made sure they were turned on, and then we are at our 7-hour delay. For the sake of testing this, let's set it to 30 seconds or 7 seconds, and we'll hit deploy one more time. We'll watch it flow through here. My light is set currently to 100%, so we've got a 7-second delay counting down through here, hopefully. Boom, and then we have an error. Extra keys not allowed at brightness percent. And that's because I typed % wrong. I will hit deploy again. Just while we're out here, let's check and make sure our porch lights are at 100%. Wait under 7-second delay, and boom, it was green right here, called at 10:20, and our porch lights dropped to 50%. So now it's done with this flow until this sun changes. As soon as this state changes to above horizon, it's going to come down to our horizon logic and then turn off the porch lights. You can get pretty involved with some of these and just keep building out this flow, but I love being able to track it through here and quickly make adjustments, such as going from 7 hours to 7 seconds. We could set that to a specific time, but right now it's late. I just wanted to do an example and make sure the lights are for the morning. All right, I'm editing this video, and it's been a few days since I created this automation, and I realized something. When we go through our automation for the front porch light here, we're turning on our front porch lights, and after 7 hours, we go to 50% brightness. However, that 50% brightness stays saved until the next day. So for the next evening, when the porch lights turn on, they turn on at 50%. So if we take our brightness percentage here from 50 and we paste it here and set it to 100, it should fix that and turn on at full brightness every night. And then after 7 hours, go dimmer. Maybe in a later video, we'll set that to a specific time instead of a delay. Hopefully that was a decent introduction to Node-RED and using your new lights that you've added through Zigbee to MQTT. You could use this for any lights. Node-RED does not require it being through MQTT. You got all of your Home Assistant entities and devices in here, and I'm going to keep making these videos. So if you want to see more like this, subscribe to Chuck Builds on YouTube. Check out my website, www.chuck-builds.com. And if you want to talk to me, reach out on Discord. Thanks for watching.